Storytime 18. This one's actually a really special story time for me. Normally, I don't mention anyone's names who's done something wrong towards me, but this is a special instance where someone actually did something really, really good for me, and I want to talk about him. Benji. A lot of people have heard me talk about Benji for a very long time, and I'm making this video because I don't know what exactly happened, but he can't remember some of the stuff that we did. So, I'm going to initiate story time and show and tell. Benji, do you remember this shit? It still exists. It's still riding, and it's got the same wheels that you put on. And let me tell you, let me remind you this story. Remember, when my mom bought me a skateboard? I had been begging for one, and when I turned 18, she gave me one, a Kmart board, which this is a Kmart board, and I was so excited, and I tried to go down the hill in front of my house with it to find out that she tightened all the wheels, so I literally flung forward, and she said it was safer if it just didn't go. So you took one look at these skateboard wheels, and you said, no, fuck these wheels. And it took 4 separate trips going to the flea market to get each wheel and each bearing for this board. But when you did them for me, you were like, the Loas are supposed to be AVIC 3s, and they're AVIC 1s, and you chucked them into the woods. You were like, no existence, fuck these things. And then you did the same thing for my plastic wheels. Yes, plastic wheels. This board has literally, it never broke. I don't know what it's made of. It's worn as I don't know what. And guys, it's retiring. And I wanted you to be the first person to know that this board is retiring, because you helped me make it. You were the reason why I started skateboarding. Like, you always encouraged me. You even helped me loosen my trucks so that I could actually ride, because I have vertigo. And with vertigo, it makes me wobble. If people have seen me walk or do anything. You were the reason, so that board's retiring, and here's my new board. Power Peralta flight deck with monster wheels, and these are Venture trucks. Dude, I still skateboard, and I don't know if you still skateboard. And even though we're in different states now, I do wish that next time maybe we skateboard together. I'd like that. So, with more good story time for you, I also want to tell you that we met in 9th grade, and believe it or not, you handed me a CD so that I could listen to, and you were one of the reasons why I got really into a lot of like Attack Attack, Hawthorne Heights, all those things. You actually helped me get out of my shell too. I was always really quiet and stuff, and the first time we met at the Kingdom Hall. Our moms decided that we needed to interact a little bit more because we weren't interacting with people our own age and whatnot. That was probably the best day of my life, I've got to say, meeting you. One of the best days. We literally got into just about everything we could get into. We explored abandoned houses together. We went, like, we did a whole bunch of stuff. Skateboarding, one of my favorite memories, and it should be one of your favorite memories, was the first time Andre, my brother, got onto the skateboard. He banana peeled and gravity stopped for a moment and he like flung into the air like a video game. And all he did was touch the skateboard with his foot. Or the trampoline. We would literally bounce each other off that trampoline. I don't think I was there when this happened, but when Dragon Ball Z was a big thing and you like uber kicked Casey off the trampoline and he DBZ like style flew off and hit the tree and like literally did like the cartoon and we're like awesome type thing. Or when you taught me how to eat honeysuckles. Remember the face I made? I was like, excuse you, you do not eat the honeysuckle. Those are flowers. You don't eat those. And, bitch, I love honeysuckles. I remember, like, I hope you remember this. When you had chickens, I would literally, anytime you would get a new batch of chickens, I would literally scream at the top of my lungs, chicken! Like Ed and Eddie. But I actually really love chicken, so it just fit perfectly. Or, like, I think her name was Senorita and Cowboy, when you had two horses. I loved your horses. Another thing, too, remember when we took off our trucks from our skateboards and, like, snowboarded? Snowboarded down the ravine with all the leaves and stuff? That was really fun. The place where we found the fossils. And they were really cool and sitting up on your shelf for the longest time. We went to conventions together. Dude, we took the most epic road trip together. We drove from Georgia to California and back. These are memories that I will not trade for the world. And I'm proud to say you're one of my best friends, Benji. We haven't been able to like hang out like we used to because when I started college, it was like I only had $20 for gas, and $20 was able to get me from school to back for a week. And I didn't have any money to get to hang out with you anymore. And it sucked. I should have tried texting you. Should have, could have, would have. It wasn't the same as hanging out with you. Do you remember the Explorer? The Explorer was super, super, like just, I'm surprised it was running type janky. To get into one of the seats, you had to unhook the door, get in, hook the door back on, and then like close it a certain way so that it stayed latched in. That was how the door worked. How to roll down the windows. You had to find the handle to roll down the window every time. Or how it always said that we were going 60 miles per hour, no matter what. But it had the badass sound system and seatbelt check. That's another thing you should remember. I think Andre was the one who, my brother was the one who showed you that shit. And I think we were listening to Carolina Breathe. And when the bass dropped, we slammed on the brakes, but I had my seatbelt on. My brother had his seatbelt on, but Casey in the front seat didn't have his seatbelt on, and he slammed his head in front. Seatbelt check. let's see. All of our fucking antics. We would always hang out in your room and fucking scary video games. Could not handle scary at all. And I would literally make the game so scary for y'all that y'all have to pause and go, we need fresh air. We can't do this anymore with you screaming at nothing, April. And then there was the, let's see. Oh, do you remember the, like, when I scared the fuck out of Charles? He had played through, like, the one for Resident Evil for the Wii, like, several times through, no problem. And, like, the... It was those, like, weird, super culty guys that were going... Fuck that shit. Fucking scared the fuck out of me. And, like, I kept saying that there was one more, and, like, Charles was like, no, there's not another guy there. And I was like, no, there's another guy. And he busts through the window, and we both scream and had to pause the game. And we're like, fuck this shit. No, we're not dealing with this game no more. Fuck it. We literally, all the early internet memes, we literally got into. Blue Waffle. We'll just leave it at that. That was a tame one. Sandbox. We got into everything together. We even had gross out contests. And because I had a strong stomach, you never had a strong stomach. I don't know why you always wanted to play these games. We would play Halo together. We would play, what else did we play? It was mainly Halo when I was over, because it was just like one of those games I was really good at. And guys, thank you for playing a game that I was actually good at. Because I wasn't good at very many, like, multiplayer games. But Halo 2 was my jam. And one of the things I do remember, too, like, this video is getting kind of long. I'm going to revisit this. You were my music buddy. You're the reason why that I would literally look for a whole bunch of music so that I could try to impress you the next time I would see you. It was like, I would find bands. I would literally go on down the rabbit hole, down YouTube, and look for bands. I would even do, if anyone remembers LimeWire, that's how old I am, 30. I remember LimeWire. And yes, I probably gave my computer viruses because of LimeWire. Anyway, but I wanted free music. We constantly made playlists. We made mix CDs too. And we were just always up to something. And it made me happy. I wanted to dedicate this one to you. Because you were one of my best friends. And you were still one of my best friends. Even though we're so far away state-wise, it's hard to actually hang out and stuff. But dude, I miss you. Storytime 18 was a compilation of a whole bunch of stories, but we're just going to call it Story 18. Yeah. See y'all later.